Miranda, welcome to my channel. Jessica from Beauty and Baseball and I are bringing you another episode of Clone Wars where we are duping the Marc Jacobs The Wild One palette. Now, this was requested for us to do and this was a lot of fun. I just want to go ahead and just say I could not find swatches online, so I was just going by the picture online, and of course I'll go ahead and I will have that on the screen so you can compare. This is all about shopping your stash and realizing you don't need certain palettes. Things might not be exact, but that's okay. As long as it's close enough, you're good. Because after all, most of the palettes that we see online, we go by how it looks in the pan. So I'm going to just go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with the top row, and the first one comes from my Carly Bible Deluxe palette, and I am going with this shade right here. That's what that looks like. The next one, I'm going with my Dose of Colors Marvelous Mauves palette, and I'm going with this shade right here, which is called Rosy, which is right there. The next shade is going to be this one right here, which is Makeup Geek's Whimsical, which is right here. The next one also comes from my Carly Bible Deluxe palette, and I'm going with this shade right here, which is the first highlighter in the palette, the lightest one. And it looks like that. And the last one in the row, I'm going with this Makeup Geek eyeshadow, and it is called Rockstar, which is right there. Now to get started with the second row, this comes from the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette, and the shade that I'm going with is this one right here, which is Pop. Which is right there. The next shade I'm going with Makeup Geek's Mai Tai. Which is right there. The next one was a little bit difficult, but I went into my Naked Smoky palette, and I am choosing this shade right here, which is Smolder. Which is that right there. The next one, I'm going back into my Carly Bible Deluxe palette, and I'm going with this shade right here. This is one of my favorite shades in the palette. Right there. And the last one in that row, I'm going with Makeup Geek's High Wire. Which is right there. The third row, I'm going to start with the Zoeva Caramel Melange palette, and I'm going to be choosing this shade right here, which is Liquid Center. Which is that right there. The next one comes from my Vice 4 palette, and I'm going to be going with this shade right here, which is called 1985. Which is that one right there. The next one, I'm going with my Makeshift Buxom palette, and I am choosing this one right here, and this one is called Spoiled Sexy. Which is right there. And even though I really didn't want to go ahead and get into this palette, I just had to. The next one comes from the Modern Renaissance palette, and this one I'm going with is Venetian Red, which is right there. It's that one right there. And the last one in that row comes from my Naked Smoky palette, and I'm going with this shade right here, which is called Password. Which is right there. Now to move on to the last row, the first shade I'm duping is this one, and this is Makeup Geek's Steampunk. I love this shade so much. It's one of my favorites by them. And it's that one right there. The next one comes from my Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette, and I'm going with this one right here, which is called Danger. And it's that one right there. And then the next one, I'm going back into my Carly Bible Deluxe palette, and I am choosing this shade right here. That's what that one looks like. The next one that I am duping is this one right here, and this is Makeup Geeks in the Spotlight. Which is that one right there. And the last shade in the palette comes from my Vice 4 palette by Urban Decay. And I am going with this shade right here, which is called Beatdown. And that's what that looks like. So here are the dupes for the Marc Jacobs The Wild One palette. Hopefully this helps you out. I did my very best with the pictures that I saw online. And yeah, don't forget to go ahead and check out Jessica for her dupes. And if you have any requests for any palettes you want us to do, just leave them in the comments and we will get to them, I promise. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Be sure to give this a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!